Marcus Morris Sr. was on with Yahoo Sports, and they hit on a bunch of different topics. I'm going to read you guys a quote here because this came up on First Take on Friday. I didn't actually see this portion of the interview on Yahoo Sports, but this came up as a topic on Friday on First Take as well. And I want to just get everybody's thoughts on it. This is going to actually lead me into a topic on Anthony Davis as well, because he may be coming back. Let me read the actual quote here, and I want everybody's opinion on it. Obviously, we know February 1st, after the Lakers played the Knicks, AD gets traded to Dallas Mavericks for Luka. Former NBA player Marcus Morris Sr. went as far as saying during a Yahoo Sports podcast that Davis was inhibiting James. Let me read the quote here. By the way, I'm grabbing this off LeBron Wire, which is a website out there. Okay. I felt Anthony Davis was in LeBron's way because LeBron's really a 4 now. So he's talking about LeBron's really more of a power forward now. And that's the position that Anthony Davis wanted to play. He was always on the box. He wasn't really stretching the 3 that well. Now you add another guard, not even just another guard. Let's make that clear. You add a top 5 guard in the NBA that can get it from anywhere, and he's a matchup nightmare. And he's talking about LeBron. So I think the point Marcus Morris Sr. is trying to make here is that AD, for the most part, wanted to play in the block. And by the way, that's not too big of a surprise or a shock. There's a lot of big men that are just not talented enough or good enough to where they got the ball around the basket. They can hit an 18-footer. They can back you down. They can grab offensive rebounds. They can hit jumpers off the glass. They can step back and hit a 22-footer if they need to. AD had the whole he had his whole arsenal working. Let's put it that way. Okay. So let me kind of pause there for a quick second. I'm gonna read another position here. You said because LeBron's really a 4 now, we know what Anthony Davis wanted to play the 4. He wanted another big man to be, playing that 5 position, similar to when the Lakers in 2020 with Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, Marc Gasol in 2021. He really wanted to play that number 4 position. So Marcus Morris Sr. thinks that Anthony Davis was in LeBron's way, literally in LeBron's way, because of the position that he played and because AD was more comfortable being around the block. Now you got the Lakers. Really, there's no big man now that the Lakers have that they can rely on. Okay, Jackson Hayes, but what are they really asking Jackson Hayes to do? They're asking Jackson Hayes to roll to the basket or get the hell out of the way for the most part. So Marcus Morris says that it gives LeBron more spacing and room to be LeBron James. Okay? Like I said, this eventually made it to First Take, and Stephen A. Smith was talking about it. Here's what Stephen A. Smith said. He said, I think that was an excellent analysis on the part of Marcus Morris. Let me read a little bit of what Stephen A. Smith said. He said, yeah, Rob Pelinka might have got that call, but I assure you that when he went to J.J. Redick said, do everything you can to get that damn deal done, because Luka Doncic coming to our team, being able to draw attention from defenses is going to free up others to shoot threes. And one of those people is going to include LeBron James, who's essentially your wideout because he gets to operate more in open space. He gets to play bully ball when he wants to because he's 6'9", 260, or he gets to step outside because he's improved his three-point shot. And oh, by the way, he's having more uncontested three-point shots than he ever has had in a Lakers uniform. Okay. So here's the argument that they're making, and I don't completely agree with, which is why I wanted to spend a little bit of time on this. I think if the point they're trying to make is because the trade happened, it allows LeBron to play a different style of basketball at this stage of his career, that part I don't disagree with. But there's part of this that almost makes it sound like, well, they're making this trade because it frees up LeBron to do other things. They're making this trade for one reason, and I think everybody understands that. And it has nothing to do with spacing for LeBron or LeBron's going to get more threes. It has nothing to do with that. It just doesn't. They got a chance to get a top 5 player in the NBA who at the time of the trade was 25. And Anthony Davis is 32, I think about to turn 33, unless he already did. and has a injury history, and you've already had him on the team for 6 years. And by the way, you already won an NBA championship with him. So what's the worst that can happen here? You just start a new era of Lakers basketball. That's why the trade was made. It wasn't made for any other reason. There's no other reason why that trade was made. It wasn't made to allow LeBron to be 260 pounds and play bully ball and get to the basket more and free up three-point shots. That could be the effect of the trade. That could be the circumstance of part of what happened because the trade happened. This is the trickle effect of it. But I don't think, personally, I'm going to say this. I don't think that Anthony Davis was in LeBron's way at any point of his career. I don't. I think Anthony Davis was actually a great compliment to what LeBron brought to the table. And I think the reason why every time the Lakers got to the playoffs, everyone would say, freaking that team can be dangerous, is because it was LeBron and Anthony Davis. And I do think these two guys complemented each other in their game. And if there was a time where LeBron was cooking, I don't think Anthony Davis is going to get in his way, or I don't think Anthony Davis would hinder LeBron from being LeBron James. Now, having basically another LeBron on the floor, which is what you got in Luka Doncic, that opens up a completely different look for LeBron. He's not accustomed to it. Now he could play off ball. And again, I think this is just a trickle effect of what happened because of the trade. But I don't think anyone in that front office was saying, hey, if we trade for Luka, this is what it will do to LeBron's game. And now we actually have a better shot of winning an NBA championship than we did with Anthony Davis. I don't think people thought that was all going to happen this year. But as we're sitting here, they probably have a better shot to win an NBA championship than they did when they had Anthony Davis, just based on how they've played. And I'm talking about that more from a factual perspective. We'll see if it holds up, right? That's kind of goes back to why this road trip's going to be so important and everything else. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here. I'm curious to see if people agree more with Marcus Morris Sr. and if they agree with Stephen A. Smith as well. Let's see what else we got here. All right, got some person saying it's called posting up. Yeah, it is called posting up. That is something that you kind of got to do. Slee, what's the reasoning on why coaching staff really want to play AD at the 5? Maybe more pace, speed of the game. You got more guys out there that can defend multiple positions. I'm going to assume it's all that stuff. AD had it when he had it, but he never really had it. Yeah, there were definitely some times with Anthony Davis where there was some frustration. And then there were times with Anthony Davis, you're like, this is the best man on the floor right now. It is true, though, AD and Bron can't both play the 4. I don't think they needed to both play the 4. That's why AD was playing the 5. I think there were some times, and I know Anthony Davis wanted to get another big man. All right, so then LeBron plays the 3. You know, they say positionless basketball. It really is a positionless game because LeBron can play the 5, the 4, the 3, or the 1. LeBron can play any position, or maybe even now, even the 2, because he's spotting up in the corners like a shooting guard would. All right, let me get another one in here. We better not lose tonight. You're not getting there. AD never added to his game after winning a trip. His shooting got worse. I'll tell you how AD added to his game. He was arguably one of the best defensive players every time they stepped on the floor. I think all we look at is offense. Do we know how brilliant Anthony Davis was on the defensive side? Do people forget that LeBron can also take some plays off on the defensive side because he knows he's got Anthony Davis holding out down the fort and the foundation of the Lakers defense? Do we know that as well? I think there are a lot of times we just looked at Anthony Davis as just an offensive guy and we forget what he was doing for LeBron and the rest of the team defensively. AD slander has to stop. There was no future for the Lakers with AD, no trade value, no way to move forward. Luka opens everything up. And I would never sit here and tell you that, obviously that trade shouldn't have gone down. Frankly, I think anybody who thinks that trade shouldn't have gone down, I question their basketball knowledge. All I'm saying is somebody making an argument that Anthony Davis was in LeBron's way, that sounds a little extreme to me. That one is a little, and that's a couple people saying that. So it's not just Marcus Moore saying it, Stephen A saying it as well. I think that almost, again, I think that indirectly or maybe even directly takes away some of the value that Anthony Davis, I thought, brought to the Lakers. AD mid-range used to be automatic. AD is broken glass. Luka, unlike AD, is willing to take our Laker reigns. Now, guys, you got the superstar. Superstar is there. No question about it. All right. Thank you very much for watching the clip. Just want to give a shout out here to one of our partners, the Wallace Firm. They are official injury attorney of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk, the entire channel. If you are ever in a need, and I hope you're not, but some type of serious injury with yourself or a family member of yours, I would like to personally help you by introducing you to the best in the business, Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Also got a URL out here that you can use as well. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Thank you for their partnership, and thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show.